After Fantasy Island closed in 2019, the fate of Silver Comet was very much in doubt. This CCI wood coaster was subject to graffiti and urban expeditions as people broke into the park. But after Gene Staples purchased Fantasy Island in 2021, there was hope. The ride just reopened after lying dormant for nearly 3 years, and in this video, I will review the current ride experience of Silver Comet. Crystal Beach Park operated from 1888 to 1989 on the shores of Lake Ontario. In 1926, the park opened the Crystal Beach Cyclone, one of the most infamous wood coasters of all time. This coaster's sharp banking and intensity was notorious for injuring riders. There was even a paramedic stationed in the station for this reason. The Cyclone closed in 1947, and its structures were used for the Comet, a double out and back wood coaster. After this park closed in 1989, this ride was saved and relocated to Grey Escape, where it still runs as the Comet today. When Martin's Fantasy Island wanted to add a wood coaster in the late 1990s, they decided to honor Comet because this coaster was previously located just 20 miles away. The park worked with Custom Coasters International or CCI to build Silver Comet for the 1999 season, and it immediately became the park's star attraction. Like the original Comet, this ride was also a hybrid. The ride featured wood track and steel supports, which made the Silver Comet name quite fitting. Fantasy Island also built a station similar to the former ride. This station featured a spire with the ride's name and some Comet decals. The ride ran well for 20 years, but Apex chose to close Fantasy Island after the 2019 season. While many of the park's rides were removed and/or sold, Silver Comet sat idle. Over the next year, many people broke into the park, vandalizing it and even walking the track of Silver Comet. But in May of 2021, IB Parks purchased Fantasy Island. The water park reopened in late 2021, and Gene Staples reopened the amusement side in 2022 as Niagara Amusement Park. At first, only Kiddieland was ready. Silver Comet specifically needed some track work and a train, as Apex removed the ride's former PTC train. But in late August 2022, Silver Comet suddenly reopened. I really appreciate how the park owners got Silver Comet open at least for a few weeks in the 2022 season. Now, the entire midway around the attraction definitely needs work. It's clearly unfinished and still being cleaned up. When I originally tried to ride Silver Comet last week, this entire back section of the park was closed for this reason. The park wanted to clean it up. I had to return the following day to experience Silver Comet. I later learned this park is proactive about posting which sections of the park are open on Facebook, but if you want to confirm if the ride is open prior to visiting, I'd give guest relations a call. This shouldn't be an issue in future seasons once the midway is completed. I also want to note that the ride opened a few hours late on the day I was able to experience it. The same thing happened to me with Hellcat at Clementon Park, which is another IB property that was recently acquired, so hopefully this doesn't become a long-term trend with this chain. The old station is still there, but the marquees are missing. I hope this can be added back in the near future because it looked really nice originally. The ride currently has a single train from Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters. It features 6 cars, each seating 4 riders for a total of 24 across the train. Now this train clearly wasn't new as it had some wear, and it's rumored that Niagara purchased the original train back from Apex. It features a purplish blue paint scheme, and half the cars feature star decals on the sides. On the day I visited, the entire park was quite empty, so Silver Comet was understandably a complete walk-on. In fact, the crew is typically just waiting around for people to ride. The seatbelt and lap bar checks aren't the fastest on this coaster, but it wasn't too big of an issue for me because the ride had no line. The train features the familiar individual seatbelt and lap bar combination, although I noticed the minimum most position on these PTC lap bars was a bit higher than the other ones with the individual bars. So even on the lowest position, I still had a few inches of space to experience this ride's airtime. As for which seat you want, I preferred the front. I think the airtime was a little bit better in the back, but the front had far superior laterals. Before going into the ride experience, I should note that I had previously ridden Silver Comet before the 2022 season, but it was way back in 2010, so my memory of how it was running back then is a bit foggy. The next section covering the ride experience will only talk about my recent 2022 rides because I remember them. The ride felt like it was running a bit sluggish, but the 2022 POV I found seemed comparable to the 2019 POVs I found. It was running very smoothly though, even in wheel seats. The park has done quite a bit of track work on the coaster, and it seems to have definitely paid off from a rider comfort perspective. Once dispatched, you slowly roll out of the station, round a turn, and head up the 82-foot or 25-meter tall lift hill. To the left, you get a view of the park that's being renovated. To the right, you get a nice view of a campground, and way off in the distance on a clear day, you can usually see the mist from Niagara Falls going into the sky. The first drop is taken at a 50-degree angle. It didn't have the abrupt pop I typically get on CCIs. Instead, the drop offers decent floater airtime in the back car. You then zip over back-to-back bunny hills. You have great speed over both hills, but they're really drawn out. The first one gives weak floater up front, while the second gives decent floater airtime for all. Next is the first of many turnarounds. Those up front get some floater airtime ascending the hill. Then everyone gets decent and sustained laterals on the turn. It's minimally banked, and there's a dip midway through it that helps maintain the lateral forces throughout. You're traveling quite slowly by the end of the turnaround, which unfortunately happened on many of this ride's turnarounds. It really hurts this ride's pacing. The exit from the turnaround is a double down. The first dip isn't notable, but you have this turn in between drops that gives some mild laterals, and the second drop gives some more nice floater for those in back. The next four elements are a compact series of turnarounds and turns. Most CCI turnarounds are notorious for delivering strong pops of airtime and good laterals. The next three on Silver Comet aren't profiled sharp enough to give those negative Gs, and you lose too much speed to get laterals anywhere but the front row. The second turnaround offers okay laterals up front. That third turnaround has a great lateral slam up front, the most intense burst of laterals on any seat at any point on the ride. The back gets a pinch of laterals exiting the turn, but nothing compared to what you get up front. The fourth turnaround has another solid surge of laterals up front, but you really crawl through the end of the turn. Next is a banked turn that dips down to the ground and back up. This is the one spot on the ride that had some shuffling, but it did have a great sense of speed because you're enveloped by supports on all sides, and you get solid laterals throughout. The exit of this turn drops back down to the ground, which can give a very weak bit of airtime in the back once the ride's warmed up. You then charge over a speed hill. It looks like it should give airtime, but sadly it doesn't in any row. You then bank to the right into the brake run, and this maneuver offers good laterals for all, particularly if you're in the front of the train. This ends the 2,800 foot or 850 meter long coaster. So what would I rate Silver Comet? I would give this wood coaster a 6 out of 10. I'm glad the park has this ride running smoothly. I could sit in this ride all day. And the ride has some nice laterals, particularly up front. But the ride didn't have as much airtime as I expected, and the pacing really suffers towards the middle of the ride, especially if you're anywhere but the front row. Still, this is a solid wood coaster, and I hope its reopening can help revitalize this amusement park. So those are my thoughts on Silver Comet, the CCI wood coaster at Niagara Amusement Park. As I mentioned, it had been a really long time since I last rode Silver Comet, so I'd love to hear from those who rode it more frequently to know how it's riding now compared to how it's ridden in the past. If you've enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.